Thobela ka hae, good evening. Dimatekwana, riperile. Yeah, it's a cold, very cold winter night this evening in the part of the world where I'm in. Don't be fooled by the others. They look like they're in summer. But yeah, it's 7 p.m. It's a Monday, so it can only be Men Up with Tshidi Lethwane. Conversations with men, with my men crush, and yeah, just a Monday conversation. Last week we started on a very nice topic. We were talking all things relationships. We were on Mjolo, the dating, and because if it's nice, you play it twice. We bring it back, Ingome Mnandi yapindwa, and we are pinning it today. So we are bringing you Mjolo, the dating part 2. And today we've added an extra person. So it's not 2 of us, it's the 3 of us today. So I'll just give the guys a chance to reintroduce themselves. None of them is a stranger here on Men Up. So yeah, I'll give them a chance to introduce themselves so that we just dive into it. Like today, we just want to do the Mjolo thing, repeat, because he warned last week that myself and Themba, like you had us guys, like you just had so many questions, and we were like, let's rope in a pro, let's bring in somebody else that's gonna assist us in answering the many questions that you've got. So, and as you can see, today give the 3 T's. So we've got Themba, we've got Tshilidzi, and we've got myself, of course, Tshidi. So we'll be serving you all things Mjolo today. Yeah. So guys, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourselves or remind the people who you are so that we get into the conversation. And we're still in Nigeria. Themba is still in Nigeria. So we're international again today. Me, I'm in a very cold part of the South Africa, and Coach Tshilidzi there is in a warm part of South Africa. 3 seasons in one day. How lovely is that? So, Timbani, my Mgijima, please remind the people who you are.
Okay, Themba Kulego Mgijima, Sowetan in Nigeria.
So it's in
nice and short, eh? Yeah.
Love it. My coach.
Hi,
I know you're not going to keep it short. I know you don't do short.
For a change, I'm going to try and keep it short.
Okay.
I said I will try. I'm not promising. I will try. Yeah, it's Tshilidzi, the coach, Radali, NLP life coach and practitioner. Specializing in relationship coaching, effective parenting, life purpose coaching, team building in the corporate, and also, transformational speaking. That's where I'm gonna end it in my intro. And yes, very much married, still very much married. Yes, from the last time we were here. And yeah, I'm just a sucker for love. Anything that has to do with relationships and love, you find me there. Even in the social space, any topic that has to do with love and relationships, I throw myself in there. So yeah.
Same here, coach.
And I'm glad you said that. The last time you were here with us, Coach Tshilidzi, you said you are going to invite yourself back. And that's exactly what you did. So, now.
Yeah, no.
Last week after our conversation, Coach Tshilidzi is on some. Who's run Mjolo when I'm not there? Who's the relationship coach here? And I'm like, okay, Coach. Sorry about that. How about we do a comeback? How about we do a part 2? And then you come in and then work at the relationships. So yeah, like he said, he invites himself back. I refer to him as the resident coach, resident guest, because like he told me, if you don't invite me, I'm gonna invite myself back. And so we welcome you back, Coach. Welcome back, also Themba.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
and nice to meet you, Themba.
Same here, Coach. Same here. So, Mina, obviously, I'm getting is with experience from where I come from. When at least it was this broad experience from the industry of Mjolo and relationship.
Most definitely.
I like the disclaimer already. I like the disclaimer. Themba just saying, me, it's not a profession. Me, it's just experience. So it's gonna be fun. So I'll try recap. So last week we started on Mjolo, the dating, and Themba shared with us how different factors come in when we are in Mjolo, how money plays a role, and how as a man he prefers to be the one that provides. And then we also tapped into why relationships end in a sour note and Bauhöra. We spoke a lot about Batlauhöra. And one thing that came about was, why is it that in the beginning of the relationship, we come together, boy shares girl or girl shares boy, and we agree with it. We are going to try this relationship thing. Each of us say, this is what I'm expecting and this is what I'm bringing in. So the question was, when I decide, Uguti, this relationship is no longer serving me, or when Themba decides this relationship is no longer serving him, why does he not tell the other person, Uguti, Mamela, it's not working, let's just kiss and say goodbye? Why do we drag it? And I think we also, I concluded for it, the reason people get hurt in the end is that you knew months ago, Uguti, you're done with me, but you dragged it on and you didn't let me know. Why don't we have that adult conversation? Why don't we have that comeback rebiteing session to say, this is what we agreed on in the beginning, this is what we want. Are you still there? Are we still working towards the same goal? Are you still getting what you anticipated? Are you still getting what you thought you would get? So if it's not what we each wanted, let's just resolve this. But rather, people like Dojana and Themba also introduced a third party into it, or introduced the Penny into it. So from you, coach, you start there. How do you think we can avoid that situation in relationships whereby or you're not ending the relationship because you don't want to hurt the other person, or you're not hurting the relationship because you think the other person is still in it, but you are no longer there? What good does it serve you staying in a relationship that's no longer serving you? So let's start there with you, coach.
Yeah, it's a very interesting angle to start. And as always, before I answer, I want to ask, we are talking about ending a relationship, which for me, the question would be, if you're talking relationship and ending, I take it back to say, did you even start? Or you thought you started? Because if there is something that you started deliberately and intentionally so, why would it end? Or why would it end drastically or dramatically the way you're putting it, to say somebody just disappears? It ended in a sour note. If it started well, if it was started deliberately, we shouldn't be talking the issue of it ending. We shouldn't be talking of it ending in a dramatic way, right? And this is the same point that I always bring back young people and, of course, elderly people to say, when you start relationships, what are the most common things that you guys discuss, right? You're saying we're starting a relationship, and mostly, and I believe Themba, from the experience, like you're saying, he will share the same sentiments to say, mostly we only start a relationship on the spark, which is just the feelings, right? That's where most relationships start and they end. That's where we would say, no, I was hurt. What was hurt? Your feelings, your expectations. Why? Because you believe that the spark that has started the relationship, it is the next person's responsibility to keep the fire burning for you. So that's why now you get hurt by that. Because if you take it as your own responsibility to say the spark has been ignited, it's my responsibility and the other person's responsibility to keep it burning, then we shouldn't be talking of ending the relationship. Okay, I feel like I'm starting from the end, but that's exactly what comes to me.
Like, coach, listen, the first moment you opened your mouth, I was like, there he goes, there he goes.
Yeah, no.
Like, you just went in deep.
Like, yeah, basically that's what it is. And The reason why I'm saying it with so much passion and confidence is because just a day ago, a young man called me and said, but why do we end up here as young people in relationships? And for me, the question was, when you guys went on those dates, what was the most important thing you were discussing? Is it butterflies in the stomach? Goosebumps and all those things? They will end because it's a feeling, it's a state you were in. And that state, you don't remain in it. At some point, you will wake up, you'll find that that state has evaporated. And it now brings us to the question, then what sustains the relationship, coach? Is it only the feeling? No, it's the commitment. And the one definition that one gave me was that commitment, it's being able to still do what you said you will do, even when the feeling you said it in has gone. So when I was feeling very, triggered by the looks, triggered by what she said or what he said, I said, I love you. That should have been the commitment to say, even tomorrow when she's not all, made up, brows on flick and all those things, I will still be able to say, I'm stuck with you because it was a commitment.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. But coach is touching on exactly the same thing that we talked about from the get-go. Communication, ufunani, ongianangani in this relationship. And once those are set in motion, at least we're moving forward, knowing what is happy. So true, which is exactly what the coach is saying. And then I was good to you don't even know if you both rowing to the same direction. My intentions are you guys have not even spoken about that. So it's good from the get-go, which is exactly what the coach is saying, that we communicate. I know what you want. I know if I can actually deliver on what you want. My expectations are ibeke nje indaba izanayo undlale, and then sibone ukuthi samba sonke or kanjani.
Okay.
And I was thinking also, coach, before is it possible ukuthi ama relationship amaningi aqala when people have not even found themselves, while you still don't even know who you are, and then already you want to get into a relationship. So now you're inviting somebody else into your own space, which you haven't even defined it when yourself. You hardly even know the career that you want to do, but you really think you can delve into a relationship with somebody else who is now going to bring a different perspective into moving forward into your world where not only define yourself. Could that be another reason that makes a relationship with a village as in Aspelele? Because as you growing, now you're finding yourself with no man as it. But I actually don't like this. This is actually what I like. Only to find a good relationship with you, thinking this is the direction that you're heading into, and to another now you're diverting into what defines where your happy place is, and this is not this person's happy place. And now, what you call this at crossroads, and now you need to. It's either somebody need to say, you know what, I'm just gonna move with you wherever you're going, which is now also damaging this person's own person. So to start a relationship, we just like whatever we like, and we think we're ready. Could that be another reason why a relationship actually break up? So, they just turn out to be a mess after some time.
You're bringing something that is, unfortunately, I don't have any other better way of putting it. So the way it is, and if it's something that knocks somebody the bad way, it's okay, because that is the reality they need to face.
Yeah. Yes.
With the most couples I've sat with, either married already, some they are planning to get married, or those who are starting Mjolo, they're just dating. I've come and I have brought these young people and these elderly people to the realization that relationships the reason why they end, why people feel hurt, in fact, it's because not of the other person, but the realities that are birthed when they are with this person. Some, they are afraid of themselves, the person they are becoming. They're afraid of the person they never knew they were. And now it is triggered by the relationship. So now the moment they realize that, whoa, so this is the person I am, and they can't face this demon themselves. They feel that Mjolo, it's 1, 2, 3. And Mjolo, wow, like alone, Mjolo is not a problem. It's the people that come to it that make it look like it is a problem, because a relationship will reveal things about you that you never knew existed. I wouldn't have known that I am good at providing, for example, until I had my wife in my space. I didn't know that I could sacrifice to a specific level until my kids were born in the relationship. So the moment these realities, that's why you have today fathers who have left their families. Why? Because the reality was brought to them after kids were born to say, can you really sacrifice your nice time, and where instead of buying 12 of something, you have to now buy a packet of nappies? That is the reality. Are you able to deal with it? Then the moment this dude realizes that, hey, I'm not ready for it, unfortunately, they've already dragged somebody along, and now the kids, and when this reality comes, they don't even bid the person bye-bye, because now they are getting to know themselves. Coming back to your question, Themba, to say, they now realize, hey, in fact, I am not ready for such. So they are finding their identity through the relationship.
Like you guys, man. Like now you have me feeling like I'm the guest. You have me like I'm the guest. Like Lampona, I'm just sitting here. I'm like, let them talk. But that's why you guys are here, to educate, like, to share, and that's why it is men up. It is men encouraging other men, men teaching other men, and men sharing their experiences so that other men can likewise bahole in that aspect. And like I was ready, I was like, okay, let them talk. Even if they take the hour, it's okay. But I think I like what you guys both touched on, right? Which with Themba was just a continuation on why communication is important, right? Because with communication, we both say what we are expected. We both say constantly, I don't like it when you do this, or I like it when you do that, and that's how the relationship grows. Now, Coach, I want to throw it back to you now. You mentioned something about wanting to end a relationship, and why, like you spoke about the spark that keeps it on, and you spoke about the commitment, right? So one of the questions that arose last week was, we start on the same page. We start with you having taken a liking into this other person. I like this person. I think I can build with this person. This person represents what I see in my future. Ne? Tanto khahlilwe fela into we boning, like at face value, uboni fela, the tip of the iceberg. The representation at that time looked like something you want to venture into. Ne? Then you also now just mentioned through the relationship, you learn other characteristics about yourself. And I'm assuming even for the other person, your actions also spark something in their characteristics that maybe they didn't know about themselves. You learn that, actually, maybe I'm a patient person, and I never really knew that I'm patient. Actually, maybe I'm very, and the likes. So now I'm taking it back to why it would end. Is it now possible, from me and Themba just here about experience when you are the pro here? So is it then now possible to say, even that commitment to make it work sometimes fades away, because things will happen in the relationship that test, inverted commas, that will test you, and that commitment to say, when I started, this looked rosy. When I started, this looked like something I would want to work on. But through experience and through the challenges that we've been going through, I see that this person actually is not what I want. It's not a person I would want to build with. This person is not somebody I can take into my future with, and this person is not. They sold me a dream, basically.
Yeah.
When we started, they sold me, last week we said, big house, hololi picket fences, a family structure. But now I can see that as Rizone, as Chimbiri, Ngalain, is it possible?
It is possible, Tshidi, and I will put it through redefining the quote by Richard Needham. Mostly when I talk relationship, there's no way I will end without talking that quote. And the reason why we would guide to that is that I wish, and today I want it stamped and sealed to say, if we can start realizing that with relationships, we are 3 in 1 as an individual. So it's a 3 in 1 me and a 3 in 1 you. What do I mean by that? So when I look at you, Tshidi, I am falling in love with the person I see you and I think you are from a distance. Oh, I think Tshidi, she's this. Now I'm feeling attracted to her. The second person that she is, it's the person that she really is that I've never yet discovered. I will only discover her when she's closer, when she's in my space, and I start realizing, so you're not just a pretty face, you snore at night, this loud, this and that. Those are the realities
disclaimer,
now.
I don't snore at night.
Yeah, now, by the way, we're just using it. So that is the second person that she is. And remember, at the same space, she's also discovering me to say, oh, so you are also this. Yeah. And like I said, this is the crucial part where a lot of relationship don't survive. That space where I'm realizing the real you, you are realizing the real me. And now it brings me to the third person that we are, that we never knew, which is I am this because I am in a relationship with you.
Oh.
You are because you are in a relationship with me. What do you mean, coach? That's why in a relationship, you can find people not functioning, Bali too. If we were to pick one of them and we go and pair them with somebody else, you were like, why are they now a different person altogether? It's because of the environment that was created by being with that specific person.
We are a product of your environment.
Yes, if you check those 3 things, you will be surprised to say this person A was not functioning at all when they were with person B. But the moment they were given person E, it's like, they were holding back this person. No, it's because of who they became by being in a relationship with that specific person. And not forgetting that in a relationship, people must be willing to learn and unlearn, especially if we are talking of people who have been in relationships before. Be willing to unlearn certain things because you are no longer the same person. You have got lessons now that have become now your antennas. They're always ready to say, hey, I know if somebody behaves this way, it might mean that. But does it really mean that with this person? If Themba calls you and you don't pick up a phone, according to his past experiences, it means ubizi uyajona.
Ubizi uyajona.
Ubizi na someone. A call. But will that mean the same thing to the same person? Maybe you are dealing with a very more matured person who would say, if I call you and then I don't find you, instead of me worrying that you might be doing some, funny stuff, let me think beyond and say, what if she's trapped where she is? She can't even reach out to anyone for help. Maybe I should be organizing someone to say, can you please check that person if she's okay? She stays alone. I'm trying to reach out. I can't find her. Can we at least apply that mind instead of jumping into some shenanigans might be going down.
That was the stuff. That was the stuff we were talking about last week. Bringing is into the past relationships into the new relationship. So that experience which was bad in the past relationship, now you're bringing in a poison or something good that you're building in, which is no coach in everything you're saying, for sure. It's exactly the same thing we were talking about last week.
So is it safe to agree that past experience influence our present? Is it safe to assume that, coach, especially in relationships? You've just mentioned now, Guti, maybe previously make an example ka abuse, like maybe previously I was abused, and before my abuser Atlon Shapa, he did a certain thing, or sometimes we'd say he'd move away. And then now in this relationship, when my current person moves away, I'm already thinking, yo, the abuser is coming. Or some people are not even, maybe affectionate. For instance, they were attacked, and when you come in for a hug, they're already in defense mode. They're thinking it's coming again. So are we now saying that past experience also affects our present in how we relationship?
Whether we like it or not, they do. And that very same influence can be either positive or negative, right? It depends on how we unpack it. And it will again take us back to the foundation, the communication that Themba started about to say. Communication, it's the depth of everything in the relationship. And it's bringing me to, I didn't want to disclose prematurely, I'm busy writing a piece on this portion of communication in relationship to say, when we talk communication, especially with people who hold experiences, past experiences, it is very critical to know what to disclose when and what not to disclose when. Why am I saying that? If we are still in the startup phase and then I disclose such information like I was abused and all this and that, and I haven't given myself time to unpack Themba's maturity, the information I'm unpacking, yes, it's critical, but instead of making him prepared for the journey, it might break him because he might there and there feel like, am I going to be able to handle this?
So
instead of him manning up, as we are talking man up, he feels like, not even trying. Already he discredited himself to say, I ain't going to walk this journey. So the question would be when to disclose what, when not to withhold what. Because, for example, if we are starting, it can't be the fact that I will say it when we're about to get married to say, by the way, from the previous relationship, there was a child that was born. You don't expect me to say that a night before our wedding. You see? So you need to know what to disclose when. That's very critical, what to disclose and when to disclose it. And then certain things, and certain things, if they are not asked, don't share them. I said this to another guy and he cracked. I said, if she didn't ask you how many other girls you dated before me, please don't over communicate, Ival. Don't know what it might mean to her.
Before Themba comes in, because yes, I want him to come in on this. I wanted to throw it back. You said they know when to share and what to share. So is that not, because for me, if I'm from a very abusive relationship, right? I was abused and I still carry the scars and right? I go into a new relationship. In this relationship now, Themba wa bona gore man, my person are intimate, or Themba wa bona gore my person is reserved or whatever. In the Themba has what the problem is. He thinks maybe I'm just uncomfortable around him. He thinks maybe that's the person that I am. Would that not then be the right thing to do in the beginning of the relationship to say, listen, this is my previous experience. So I'm still fresh from it. So that don't rush me, be patient with me, but also at the same time saying, I'm not just expecting you to accept everything that I do, but understand me coming from this point. So, is there ever really a perfect time? I think that's what my question is. Is there ever a perfect time to share with your new partner about your beliefs or your limitations or whatever the case might be from your previous relationships that you feel might affect the relationship going forward?
And when I said
throw
time,
it to both of you.
So when I said time specifically, Tshidi, now you have brought different angle to say, what if we are about to get intimate and I have this experience of past abuse, right? And your person is the one feeling uncomfortable about the fact that you are being reserved, you're trying to push back. Communication, guys. And that's where we don't have to put it upon the one person to say, you must tell me. No, if I'm the one feeling uncomfortable, what stops me from being the one who starts this conversation? And again, this is where it will bring the third point now. Remember I said what to say and when to say it. Now it will bring the how to say it.
How to say it.
I can see you, my person. You are a bit uncomfortable when we try to get intimate. You see, it's me now. I want to understand. Is there any specific reason why whenever we try to get intimate, you shake, you push me away? I'm asking because I'm the one who's feeling uncomfortable. I can't make it your responsibility to say, you should have told me because you are the one who had the experience. No, if I'm the one feeling uncomfortable, let me be the one who starts the conversation to say, I observe you. I can see that you're uncomfortable. And it makes me uncomfortable because whenever I try to get closer, you push. Is there any specific reason? Then that should be the perfect time for you as the other party to say, oh yeah, I'm glad you observed that. Now, this is what happened. And that is why I'm reacting this way. And also, Themba, if he's asking that question, he should be ready to say, after he is told the truth, is he ready for the truth? I always say that to people. Don't ask a question that you're not ready for the answer. Because if she shares with you something that is beyond you, you should be ready to say, okay, now that you have told me that you were abused, your next question or your next point should be, how would you want me to assist you then? How would you want us to do things so that I don't always trigger the past bad experiences? Then now it's a conversation already. So we are communicating. Then she would say to you, no, I would suggest, because I'm the one who was hurt, I would suggest we go maybe a month without being intimate. I would suggest that you do it differently because if you do it this way, you remind me of that person and I don't want to get there. Or if need be, please assist me to get professional help. Let me go for therapy. Let me go and deal with these triggers. You see, we are conversing because that's when also one would say, what is there to talk about in the relationship? You see, you've got a whole lot to talk about. A conversation can be sparked by something small. Okay, Mjimba.
Yes, Themba.
No, me from experience, right? Me personally, also, I don't know how coach will look at it. Me, I also think we're all individuals, of course. Personally, I want everything from the get-go. When I've made a decision that, you know what, I like this woman, whatever she brings, I'm going to have to deal with it. Okay, which is what the coach mentioned, commitment. So if I see you and I like you, I'm committing to whatever comes with the journey that we're going to take together. Ne? And then masala, I'm going to then conversate you. I'm going to ask you, give me everything. Let me know everything. I'm ready. And taller. So whatever you give me then, and then I suit up for whatever battle that comes into the relationship that we have. I did date a woman who had difficulties with depression, so she was going to udokotela and she was getting so she would have those moods. So I then knew that okay, this is who I'm dealing with. So okay, not a problem. I will learn how to handle it. But now the problem, she was not communicating with me then. So I would ask, okay, okay, that's good and well. So okay, so how do I learn now how to handle it? Because imagine I'm in a relationship. Nami, I need you to love me and told. So it's not only about you, of course. It's about the both of us. So Mina, I'm willing to do whatever it takes for this relationship to work. But now you need to tell me how to treat you, how to do it right, so that whatever you react when things happen, I would then understand, okay, you know what, how do I work around, lama dynamite lawa asset in Google journey. Yeah, so yeah, no, for sure.
Mjijima, Tshidi, before Themba just sparked something, and for me, I know this is where I'm known for throwing bombshells.
Me, I said I'm a guest today. I'm a guest today. So,
so Themba, the approach that you have, of course, for me, I label it as the matured person type of approach to say, give it to me at a go. I want to know what I'm dealing with, right? And this, if it's dealt with in a right way, it should lead us to what I would call matured breakups. Let's not end in instances where we are ghosting each other. If we have given each other everything from the word go, why? Number one, coach, this is where we can be able to hold each other accountable. From the word go, you told me it's red. Why today is it blue? I'm able to hold you accountable based on your words. Remember, you can catch a person through their words, what they've said, not what you thought, but what they've said. But again, this brings me to this bombshell. And I'm sorry to say it, and I've gone through it myself, but it is the reality. If you are given that whole package from the word go, Themba, and that's where you need to be true to yourself and true to the next person, because most romantic relationships should have ended at a friendship level. I repeat.
No, that's true.
Most romantic relationships should have ended at a friendship level, should have ended at you just being a confidant. This person only entered because at that space of their life, they needed someone they can trust with disclosing their issues. And if by disclosing you felt that I can't deal with this, don't hurt the person, rather assist them to get the assistance they need in life. That is why today we are still having past relationships that we have ended, and we still have good communications with those people. Why? Because we understood that it was not supposed to end as a romantic relationship. It ended as me being this angel. If we are reading the Bible, we are not expecting angels to come down with wings. We are angels towards each other as human beings. Maybe Themba's role in this person's life was just to assist this person through their phase of life. And then that's it. The journey ends there. But because we're human beings, it's opposite sex. Of course, you will have those things triggered, attraction happening, and then before you know it, boom. But reality is, was it really supposed to even have gone that far?
And to answer that, Coach, which you did mention, yes, it did end maturedly. We spoke and we said, no, yes, I Hispanic rent. So I think it's better to move forward as peoples. And we still communicate even now.
Now you make me sound like I was prophetic. You didn't tell me that.
Not at all. Hello, when are you in the industry?
So Themba, you glad now that I brought help? Oh, good. Now, when you are not sure, you throw it at him. You're like, it's your industry. Please deal with it. It's your industry.
No, the coach has touched on exactly most of the things that we spoke about. And then he has added a great value on a lot of things, especially that one, a commitment, very important.
Okay, so now, being a guest at your own space is very tough. Because now I feel like, where to from here? And I'm just looking forward to tackling the comments, to tackling the questions that are going to come from this, because man, Mjolo there's always questions. There's people always want to know, and so now, ladies, I said Kelly Emela from last week, right? But today I feel like I want to Emela the guys today. I'm on the side of the guys today, and I want answers for the guys. So today I'm manning up for the guys. So you both shared something there, regarding communication and just setting straight. This is what happens in a space where yes, your partner shares ukuthi, listen, this happened to me and this is the reason I'm behaving like this, and then you feel like when you try to assist them, they make you feel like you're overstepping boundaries. Like when you try to go in, like they've opened this door for you, they're like, this is my situation. I went through 1, 2, 3 in my previous relationship, and then this is maybe why I would act this way towards you. But then you feel like every time, and then you've asked the question, the important question that both of you have said, Uguti, when a person comes like that to you, ask them, how would you like me to assist you, or how would you like me to rather treat you, so that we avoid going back there? And then once you start asking those questions, this is how it makes me feel and this is what I want you to do, the moment you go in and you start wanting to play that role, they back off. They're like, yazi nimpilo yami le ngeke ungitshela ukuthi ngiyenzeni, ene bengakutshela ukuthi ungijaje or bengakutshela ukuthi manje you want to tell me what to do. How does one navigate masekunjalo? Like, we're trying to build relationships here. We're trying to show our followers and everybody, the audience, that Mjolo does not always have to end in tears. Mjolo does not always have to end in batlauhera or bauherile. That we're trying to show that we can build strong, sustainable, and beautiful relationships. And thus we bring these informative guests that we have here so that we learn together. So I'll throw it to you both, guys. You guys are working so well as a team. Like, you are supporting one another. When the coach says this, the Themba comes. When the Themba says, the coach comes. Like, you even say, Mtimba, when we go na, and then Mtimba would say, when a coach ring.
This one I got coach. This one I got coach. This one is for the coach.
Wow. It's surprisingly, it's like he read my mind, because I'm laughing before you finish, because the way you put that question, two things are coming to mind. You know, as a coach and as a practitioner, if there's one thing that you lose throughout the journey of helping people, it's you lose privacy in a way. And which is, you know, it has to be something that you accept, but you do it in the name of helping others. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the answer I'm going to give now, it's from a personal level. Okay. So my wife now, wife, who was then my girlfriend, when we started dating, everything was hunky-dory, and me being the person that I am, you know, doing what I believe was the things that needs to be done to show somebody that you love them, and not knowing at that space that she was coming from a different space of relationship, right? 4 months down the line, I still remember, we still laugh about it even today with my wife. She just decided to end the relationship, right? And
with you?
Yes. And the question for me was, and then, you know, I want to know, why did I do wrong, or why did I not do which was supposed to be done, you know? And then the answer was, dude, you're too good to be true. And how do you navigate through that? You know, I'm telling you, like, okay, where to from here? And it ended, like, literally it ended for almost a month or two, done, not even communication. And for me, I experienced that heading that you guys talk about. I experienced because, and the heading was like,
oh, really?
And my heading was, you know, it's a head that comes with questions to say, what did I do or why did I not do? And later, because I was probing, she came back to self and realized, nah, man, you know what? My demon here was that I was still carrying past experience into this. And now, maturedly so, she came back and presented a case to say, look, dude, it was nothing to do with you. It was me still fighting my demons. And now that I've realized that, look, people are different. You are bringing a new angle that I was not ready, that I never knew it existed. Now I'm ready to give it a try. And that try today has kept us 5 going into 6 years of marriage, right? So I think by giving that type of a personal experience, it makes you realize that how do you deal with it? Be true to yourself. And I still appreciate the fact that my wife now then she was true to herself to say, I can't do this because it sounds and seems too good to be true. She was true to herself, and she told me that. So she was being true to herself to say, I'm not ready for this, right? And when she was ready, she came back. And by the grace of God, because also for my side, I was convinced that this is the woman that must be my wife. When she came back, it was not to say, Wilewang Tomela first time around. No, I understood. And today it's a beautiful love story that we are telling to say, look where it got us. And since then, I will not lie to anyone, it has always been a journey of learning new things and unlearning others. Even myself, I had to learn to be out of the self-masculine ego where I used to think. And unfortunately, Themba, you are very much safe that I was not there last week, Uti. As a man, I used to think as well, Uti, it is my responsibility to be the provider. But then even the Bible teaches me to say, when I give you a wife, it's a helper.
Yeah.
You are expected that certain moments you will not be able to on your own. Allow the other person to step in.
It's partnership. You know what's interesting, Coach? Exactly what there's a girl that I was speaking about who exactly your experience with your wife. She went through it. She was dating a friend of mine. It was a messed up relationship. He was married to somebody else, and they broke up. And then she found someone who was doing the opposite of what the other guy was doing. So he was doing all the things she wished the other guy was doing. I mean, it was a couple of months dating, and she was introduced to the family. She was introduced to all the friends. He was talking in Dabaze, like, seriously, we're getting married. I found you, and I want to be with you. So she literally found the guy that she was hoping for, but she ended it. So I asked her. I was excited when she told me that she met somebody. I was like, wow, that's great. He sounded like a great guy. Yeah, you know what? Good for you. And then a week, I think it was a month later, she then said it was over. I said, what happened? She said, nah, he was just too good. I mean, everything he was. I was like, but what do you want? I mean, is that not what you were asking for? And unfortunately, I don't think she's as mature as your wife. I don't think she would then go back and should that happen. Maybe truly she was true to herself to say, listen, I actually want what I was having. That commotion that I was working with that worked for me. Maybe that's what I wanted. She might not go back to the guy and say, listen, I think I was in the wrong. I would like to give it another try. It was just shockingly too good at that time, but I do want to give it a try. That's another reason why a relationship ends, because if you've hurt me and you've broke my heart, there's a greater chance that I would not come back and come back to you. So at a certain stage, you need to then come and ask for us to conversate, for that dialogue, to dissect and see what exactly happened. See the autopsy with the relationship. Yeah. See,
No, I need the autopsy. Autopsy dissecting again.
Yeah, what happened?
That's
yeah, no, exactly.
And as the both of you were speaking, I was singing. I'm singing, Ucho, baby, I wanna do all of the things your man
want. Yeah.
I do them for you. So it's a case of whatever that you're not used to, I'm gonna serve it to you, and I'm gonna serve it to you good. Yeah.
So is it possible, Guti, at a certain stage, whatever we ask for, we just might not be ready for it. Coach, how do we get around it? Because it's one thing to say, I want, I want $1 million, and then you get $1 million, and then boom, you buy everyone alcohol, and pay them a week later $1 million, you pay it. Are you ready for it? How do we prepare ourselves for lento city safe phone before you figure, so that my figure, then we know how to handle it before then.
It's basically from understanding dating. Let's date right. I wish there was a better way, but let's date right. If
What
we're
is
dating
dating right, Coach? What is dating right?
it's me putting myself on the plate, serving myself to you, and you serving yourself to me. And when I'm serving myself to you, I'm saying, go on, do that autopsy on me. You know, if you find certain things you are not okay with, let me know, and then let it be an introspection to me to say, am I willing to sacrifice? Because whether you like it or not, where you have two people into the same space, sacrifice will have to happen.
Yes.
So I need to question myself, am I ready to sacrifice certain things so that we can build this together? If not, then let's let each other out of each other's way, and then that's it. So, but there is a way around it. It's by us being true to self. Back also to this first point, Themba, to say, our identity. Do I really know myself and what I want? Do I know what I want? Because if I don't know it, the relationship will let me know that I don't want it. Unfortunately, it will be at the expense of somebody's time and at the expense of somebody's sacrifices. So the only way around it is for us to put ourselves onto the plate, serve myself to the next person, and knowing with the maturity that chances are when they are tasting this dish, they might give me feedback to say, the salt is too much, the salt is less, the sugar is too much, or it's not measured right. Be ready for that. So it's all about self-preparation before we get into relationship. That's what I would suggest. Prepare yourself first, not forgetting that you are coming in as a combination of your parents, both your mother and your dad, and their experiences and their parents' experiences, and all the way back to war, Koko Bakwe and all that. So you are it's a sum. You are a sum of all those people. And coming in here, be ready to understand that you are coming into other people's spaces and they are not you, you are not them. So if you're not prepared to that, you will go around thinking that there is a perfectly made and shaped, readily available man or woman for you. And that in a relationship, it never exists except in the movies.
I'm about to shock you guys. I'm about to give you the shocker of your life. Can you believe we're almost at the end of the hour? Like we've been at it for almost an hour.
And
Are you serious?
Just started.
I know.
I was thinking, Moses to Kala Moskonama.
Like that's how it is. Time flies when you're having fun. Like we are literally almost at the end. And like when I coach, you know, every time you come here, you're like, no man, it can't be an hour. It like, feels like 10 minutes. Now at Themba, the same last week, you're like, an hour already? No, you know, you're messing with me.
Yeah.
But I was almost there. And with what you guys both have just said, I remember reading somewhere, I think on social media, to say, Lord, help me prepare for the things that I'm praying for, so that when they come, I will be ready and be able to use them accordingly. Because the reality is that we abuse things that they are used for. So that is why you need, when you're asking for something, you prepare for it, right? You mentioned money, Themba. Maune 100, right? Even I'll bring it biblical, if I may. Who that is trusted with little will be trusted with much. So you can't be trusted with much if you fail in the little. So that saying, Guti, whatever that it is that you wanting to see grow in your relationship, you must start practicing it. You know, grow with it, so that when you are now living in abundance, you are able to handle that abundance, because you started when isalinyane. But if you start abusing it with the little that you've got, you are gonna blow. You're gonna blow it up, because you were not prepared and you did not prepare yourself for when it comes. With that, like, I wish we had 3 more hours. You guys, like, yeah, man. Now that we know we are almost at the end, I'm gonna give you guys. It's been lovely. It's been like, listen, the comment section right now is blowing up. We're just gonna try and answer as and when we can, but also like we always do, we're going to put in the contacts in the comment section, and we're going to attend to the questions whenever we find them. To both of you, what is the one thing that you want people to take out of this past hour, out of this conversation, tonight's conversation? What's the one thing that you want when they listen or they watch this or they catch up on it to say, Coach Tshilidzi said this, and this is what I'm taking out. Timbani said this, and this is what I took out. Timbani, starting with you. I see you are eager there.
Yeah, no, I'm not eager. I wanted to steal so that the coach can then delve into something different. a commitment. Yeah. Like when you start, when you get into it, be committed. You decide, of course. I'm going to Owazi, or go to Funani. You know what you're all about. So you make the commitment to go to, okay, as I'm starting here, I'm going to give it all I have, and whatever comes with it, I'm willing to learn and grow and ube matured to communicate again. Izinto maziba in balance. Nibe nesikhathi nihlale. Just like onke ama-company and year reviews, where we looked at how the year has done, are we still moving in the right direction? Now we relationship asihlale, as communicate with ayazi so hle daperetsi yami lerato la wena usayibona kanjani sisasemnandi, and then give up phambili. So let's be committed when we get into it, and we're with an open mind, but be willing to learn and be challenged in what you thought when impilo inji, and be willing to grow with this next person.
Ake khona uflate abengifuna ukuthi Jovito. To you, coach.
So what? First thing first.
One, my coach. Isn't first thing first?
Yeah, it's one.
Because you're gonna start the preaching.
All right. So it's one. It's one thing in two. It's two in one.
Uh-huh.
Stop falling in love with the idea of being with the other person. That's the idea. Stop being in love with the idea of being with them. And with that being said, then fall in love with the idea of being the project manager of the next person. Let them become your project. Let them be a better person because of you in their space, while you become a better person because of them in your space. Therefore, as a project manager, I will never allow my project to fail under my watch. My wife, when I do the review that Themba just spoke about, a year later, I should be able to say, because I've been in her space, she has moved from this level to that level. She should be able to say the same towards me, to say, this gentleman of mine has moved from here to there. That's it.
Wow, I'm impressed, coach. I'm impressed. You never wrap up in 30 seconds. You've never. Thank you, Mena, for this growth that you are bringing into this coach of ours. Wow, thank you. Ngiyabonga Themba, Ndolevuwa, Khalasi Tshilidzi. I wish we had more time, but yeah, man.
Yeah, and I think there is another round coming.
Okay. No, we do need another round. There were a few things that we did not tackle into. But we do need
another round is coming. I'll just communicate when the next round is coming. You guys will tell me when you are available. And with that, this was this week's edition of Men Up with Lethwane. I had the fabulous Themba Mgijima and the awesome Tshilidzi, the coach Radali. Will be posting their contacts on the comment section there. And for those of you that, for some reason, I can't know why, you would have missed this conversation, tomorrow morning, don't worry, you can go to podcast. You'll find us there. You can catch up. And did I mention you find us on Spotify as well? Yeah, we are growing. We are growing. Thank you, guys. Like, this is me, Mbilu Yanga. Thank you for such a lovely conversation. Lelo Nakohaye, thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is your girl from Bolobedu to the world. and from Timbani from Nigeria, and my coach somewhere in the south of Africa. With that, we
Thanks
say,
for the invite.
Thank you, Themba.
Thank you guys for honoring it. And let's have fun there in the comments. Let's continue taking the questions that, we'll just, continue doing that. And we shall meet again very soon for third round.